The ringing of the old phone breaks the chilling silence. Wait, something is wrong. This is a rented apartment. The previous owners left their phone here, but only because they got a new one. Naturally, they would have given all their new numbers to their friends. Thus, this phone must be for them, from a person who has probably forgotten that they have changed phone numbers, so he shouldn't pick it up. What if it's from the Wilshire Corporation? Find out where he lives and are calling to check if he's home. He waits. Wouldn't any normal person have hung up by now? At the end, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he picks that up. Hello? Silence. The person on the other end breathes deeply. Hello. Are you looking for the Madisons they are currently staying at? Am I speaking to Mr. Cason Voltaire? Are you Mr. Cason Voltaire? The person on the other end is unmistakably a man whose voice he has never heard before. Cason grips the phone tighter. Yes, may I know who's on the line? My name is Simon Coyle. Simon Coyle. An alias certainly, but this is the name of a well-known recruiter, the Revolutionary Anti-Government Rebellion Organization, National Liberation Front. Except a few years back, they've only had one goal: to destroy Wilshire's hold on the government and to rebuild this country once more. Why? How? A million questions passed through Cason's mind. I heard the police were looking for you. Good thing it appears that I found you first. Tell me more. Why hasn't he thought of this before? Cason is inwardly glad that he chose to pick up this call. With Wilshire Corporation as his enemy, there is no other choice but to escape far away or to fight them directly. You can't choose the first option. It would mean abandoning Cho Riley and letting her roam free. As for the second option, it will be much safer to pick with comrades with the same goals, to overthrow the Wilshire Corporation. Although, will you kill others too, to get to me? What did she mean? She's crazy. You can't entertain the thought of a monster in the form of a girl roaming free, killing for pleasure. Especially not like this. There's no way Michaela would want that either. 5 years ago, he woke up in a hospital ward, unable to remember much of anything at all. He had been caught in an accident and had fallen from a burning building. He was lucky to be alive. Michaela had saved him. She was the first thing he ever saw. Yes, 5 years ago. That was his earliest memory that wasn't muddled, blurry, or broken. The very thought that he lost Michaela, the girl who was even closer to him than anything else. Not to mention said demon not only managed to survive, but managed to live a good life working for a shady Wilshire Corporation without any remorse. It made his stomach churn. Or that is what he would tell himself. So are you interested in joining us? Of course. Suddenly Cason feels his head racked by a searing pain. He's remembering something. Or else I'll kill you, too. In the forest clearing, there was a young boy and a girl. The girl was wearing a lovely dress with lace and ribbons. Certainly, she must have been a well-pampered child. In contrast, the boy was wearing a simple shirt and pants, looking worse for wear. The boy looked up at her. She looked back at him. Her eyes were a strange color, like petals in a light spring breeze. She wasn't even wearing any shoes. Anyone would have expected her to be wearing elegant dress shoes with white stockings, yet there wasn't even any kind of footwear. Why would such a well-dressed girl be out without any shoes? It wasn't the first time either. Those feet were calloused. Through the tears in her eyes, in his eyes, vision blurring, he could recognize her. His face was wet with tears. So was hers as she continued to fidget. He said that, but at the same time his body was trembling and his voice was reluctant. She shook her head violently, trying to restrain her sobs. Before he knew it, she had run over to his side, crying. I was scared, so scared. Thanks for saving me, Kai. I thought it was okay if I just died there, but I can't say I wasn't scared. I can't say I wasn't happy that you came to save me. I'm so selfish, aren't I? You shouldn't have done that. You should have just let me die, you know. There was no helping it after all. She was his friend. There was no way he could have let her be killed, even if it meant having to set her attacker on fire. Still, he never knew that he could do something so violent. And now that he knew he could, he was afraid. Afraid that he'll one day lose control and drench the world in flames. You should stay away from me, you know. You saw what I did, didn't you? I'll kill you. Slowly, her tears ceased. Her expression blank, she pulled him up to his feet. You didn't kill anyone, Kai. She raises a finger and points to her temple. I killed him. I killed him here, inside my head. Before you even came, Kai, I wish that he would just die, disappear. I killed him before you did, Kai. That's why the killer isn't you. A painful, forced smile appeared on her face. She stomped absent-mindedly on the grass. It's me, not you, Kai. It's me. Mr. Voltaire, are you still there? Yeah. What was that? 5 years ago, an accident caused him to lose most of his memories. And now, once in a while, he'll recall an image. The aftershock tends to be annoying at the very least. And this time is of that strange girl again. That strange girl with the ash-brown hair and odd glassy eyes. After an informative yet concise briefing, Kaysen puts the receiver down. Certainly, with his ability of instant pyrokinesis, he would probably prove a great asset to the National Liberation Front. Simon Coyle shouldn't know that, but he wanted him anyway. As a good start. Cannot help but remember, though, the first time he killed a person. He was only 7 years old. Of course, the accident from 5 years ago had almost wiped out all of his memories, but it had returned him to in a dream. A painful recollection, aching vivid, the day when Terry died. Terrence was his own twin brother. They were inseparable, and yet he's dead now. It was completely on instinct. An incomprehensible frustration, fear and anger had gripped him. When he saw Terry with those eyes, with that knife, bringing it onto that scared friend whom he hadn't seen in so long, nobody could possibly understand how he felt. And then, he killed him. He didn't mean to kill him, but he did. It was just so instinctive. It just felt so right. He saw Terry. Terry burned. He burned and burned. His life, everything, was flushed away by the flames. Smoke was pouring. His entire body shriveled up, and fire was everywhere. His own twin brother. Nobody had seen it except himself and her. Nobody else knew what it was like. To a child, the concept of death is more like sleeping. It isn't until they are at an older age that they begin to fear death and wonder if there truly is a life after death. Thus, before that time comes to them, that should just be like falling asleep. Quick, painless, just like a dream. A man will close his eyes and sleep peacefully into death. That is what the concept of death should be like. However, the young Kaysen from back then had seen it with his own eyes. I was angry. I was really angry. Before I knew it, he and I knew that was me. I did it. I killed him. I set him on fire, and I killed him. You saw it too, didn't you? I'm sorry for showing you something like that. Kai? He gripped his arms, trying to stop his shaking. The girl didn't reply. She looked at him, her expression unreadable. He didn't know what thoughts were flowing through her mind at that moment, and he was afraid to know, afraid of himself. Nervously, painfully, he broke into a bitter smile. I'm a murderer, you see. I'm so sorry. He addressed that apology to no one in particular. I'm a murderer, you see. Control. This is the key to control. Stop. Don't despair. Be happy. Smile. 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 What do you want? A light smirk still on her face, the young girl laughs. Smiles, just like the chant says. Stop. Don't despair. Be happy. Smile. She's not in despair. She is happy. She is smiling. Malia Goldstein runs and reaches for the knob, but has already disintegrated into a clump of useless metal by the time she had touched it. There is no way out. She turns to see the unknown young girl peering up at her, smiling. Why so tense, madam? Why so serious? I'm merely doing my job, you see. She chuckles lightly, swinging her sword around as if it was a child's toy. At the sight of the blade, the woman cowers, shuddering helplessly. She slams her weak body against the door, trying desperately to turn a knob that would not budge. Go away! Of course, I'm having fun too. My parents always told me to get a job that makes me happy. Isn't it great to have fun on the job? Isn't it, Madam Goldstein? She approaches the cowering woman, surveying her plight with childlike joy. Do you enjoy your job too, Malia Goldstein? Your job is to hide behind your husband all the time. How sad is it? How sad it is that he's now gone. But it's okay, because that's your job. Sho clicks her fingers lightly as sudden pain shoots through the woman's knees. Ah! Malia whimpers, groveling on the ground in pain. She can feel it. She is going to die. Instinct overcomes her and she begins to scream. Stop! Stop this! Stop this, please! The demon girl before her only smirks lightly, tilting her head to the side ever so slightly. What do you want me to stop doing? You're all like this. Why can't you just make yourself clear? The world would be a better place if everyone if everyone does just that, right? So what do you want me to stop? Say it. Don't kill me. Please, don't kill me. That's better. Alright, I won't kill you. I'll just leave you here. What? Wait! At this rate, I'll... Ugh. Sho lightly flicks her finger, and the edge of the woman's neck begins to melt, slowly cutting into her vocal cords. Her voice fades into something alien and completely undistinguishable. Why isn't anyone coming to help? As she pleads desperately to the gods, she can finally hear the sound of frantic running from behind the door beneath her back. Thank goodness, she'll be saved. Still, the smile lingers on the girl's face. Don't worry, silly. Can't you hear that sound? Mrs. Goldstein, we're coming to get you. Don't worry. Normally a person would be absolutely delighted to have their friends, but however, right now, the drilling sound is coming from the door right behind her. Please stay away from the door, ma'am. We're going to drill our way through. She can't even scream for them to stop. She can't even move from where she is. Realization dawns on her. Sho gives a small chuckle. See? I keep my promises. I'm not going to kill you. Well then, see you in hell. Malia can only lie there, trying her utmost best to flail her dismembered limbs. Now that's much better, Sho Rylene. Learning to clean up after yourself is a vital step into adulthood. Yes, thank you so much. Malia Goldstein's death was labeled as an accident, but now there's no suppressing slander. The streets are now buzzing with news of how the deaths of Robert Goldstein and Heath Parison were also part of a conspiracy by the Goldstein guards and servants. The disappearance of Henry Lenore, who was the head butler, further out accentuated those rumors. Eric himself had sent several private detectives to aid the police in asking a few of the servants in for questioning. Simply put, that would make the Wilshire Corporation seem benevolent and kind, or at least that was what Eric said. They called in to say that Henry Lenore's sister Iris turned violent against the police. Turned violent against the police officers before escaping from their clutches and vanishing into the night. Silly girl, the public is just going to suspect them even more after that. Nobody finds it strange how a bunch of servants managed to make things rot. Nobody questions these things. And it's definitely more believable than a little teenage girl doing the same thing. Either way, it's going to be bizarre. Naturally, the public and the police will try to believe the less bizarre reason. From what I've heard of conspiracy theories, including giant alien maggots, I beg to differ. Huh. Now, Eric can close this Goldstein and Parison case. With Sho Rylene at his side, aside from her occasional whims, he can pretty much do anything. He can kill, he can bluff, and the public will never be the wiser. Of course, there are always underground movements to worry about, but as long as they can be crushed before they turn into a full-fledged revolution, there's nothing much to worry about. It was certainly great to have met a kid like her. He does not hesitate to kill, who does not hesitate to kill. His father, Gregorin Faraday, had pretty much dumped the country onto his lap. All the mess that his father had made, he had no choice but to continue ruling it with the same iron fist that Gregorin had. It is painful, so he tried to get himself to enjoy it. But ultimately, it is a duty, a chore, something which his father says he must do. It is his job. Ultimately, that's why he hired Sho Riley. Ultimately, that's why he gave up. The lust for blood, for death and destruction, all emitting from the small girl named Sho Riley. It is something he can never compare to, and something he can never understand. Speaking of which, why did you do that? All that with Case and Voltaire. Understand that you're used to doing everything on a whim, but doing something like that just to attract people that are out of your blood? Have you truly gone mad? So you think I'm the masochist type? I guess you could put it that way. I don't know. So that's just one of my many mysteries in life. Alright, but wait. I've always meant to ask you, Sho Riley. Huh? You've always meant to ask me a lot of things. What is it? Did something bad happen to you in your childhood or something? Were your parents abusive or something like that? Nah, they were normal parents. Not that I really remember them. So are they dead? Not sure. Maybe they're still out there. So why did you separate from them? Can't remember. Probably during the Civil War. That explains it. Wait. So you think the reasoning behind me being a terrible excuse for human beings because I separated from my parents? Well, yeah. I won't deny that you're a terrible excuse for a human being. But I'd like there to be at least an excuse for you being a terrible excuse for a human being. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't really have any excuses, like you say. Thousands of children were separated from their parents and orphaned. They grew up to become pretty normal teenagers, I'm afraid. Maybe something happened that made you different. I don't think so. I was adopted really quickly by an orphanage, and my sister was with me then. She's a really nice sister, by the way, not an abusive one. Terribly kind. So you were abused in the orphanage? You aren't going to stop trying, are you? Nope. The caretakers were normal people. They clothed us, fed us, taught us numbers and the alphabet. Like, you know, a normal orphanage. So if you're hoping to hear some kind of sob story from my childhood, you're not going to get any. Sho waltzes towards a nearby chair and plops herself in it. Besides, why so cliché? Why so serious? You must have read too many storybooks. Pity, I could use some entertainment. Well then, I'm off. See ya. Alright, take care, and don't wander off. He wonders why, back then, did he take Sho Riley in? Is it because their interests were the same? Eric Faraday needs certain people removed, and Sho Riley wants to kill. That is what it means to hire a mercenary. That is what it means to succeed a corporation which Gregory Faraday had brought up and the messed up country that came along with it. It's strange, isn't it? Eric likes things to be in order, but after a while, it dawned on him that it wasn't going to be too easy. Not with the chaos in this country. He wonders if by hiring Sho, is he just inviting more chaos? If he's starting to enjoy this instability, maybe he should have hired others. He slaps his forehead and gets up, gritting tiredly. Time to move.